All right, so I'm going to explain the four corners of content right here. First being info, second being results, third being perspective shifting, and fourth being personal brand to, again, convert your content into sales. So the first thing that we'll be touching up on here again is info. So the thing with info videos is, again, educating people, but to educate, you have to be seen as a doctor in the field. If you ask yourself, would you trust a 16-year-old who just started going to the gym or a 25-year-old who's had 5 years of experience and a lot of things under his belt? Who would you want to go with? Obviously the guy who's 25 with a lot more experience. So in your mind, or in your prospects' minds, you should be thinking, what would we need to see for someone to see us as the smartest, right? To see us as the expert in the actual field. The biggest thing that I see that most people get wrong with informational videos is they think if they just post the basic stuff, they'll get seen as an expert. The thing is, by posting basic stuff, you're seen as a basic person. So some examples here of, for example, the fitness niche. A lot of people post about, doing cardio to burn calories, how to lose weight by eating less than your maintenance. You have to eat protein to gain muscle, eating more to gain weight, different ways to train, different workout split tips, maximizing time to go to the gym, right? Getting your sleep schedule correct, tracking what you eat. These things are all so basic and doesn't make you seem any smarter than a 16-year-old. Now, some things a 16-year-old may not know are some of these things on the right here, right? Things about glycogen, growth hormones, impact on insulin sensitivity, how to boost your metabolism, how to eat and not spike your blood sugar, right? Meal timing, how to know if you need more hypertrophy training, right? So all these concepts are a little bit more advanced, again, separating you from the rest of the crowd, pushing you up to be seen more of an expert than the average gym goer. Now, I genuinely want you guys to look at your page, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and ask yourself, do you seem like a motherfucking doctor, right? If I go to your page, can I look at it and genuinely say to myself, this guy is really smart, or is this guy just a meathead that goes to the gym? An example, there's this guy on Instagram, V-Taper Poppy, a fitness coach. If you go to his page, and genuinely look at it, the perceived value is he's smart, right? Off the rip here, you can tell, one, he does seem professional. Two, he talks about these very advanced topics, right? It's not talking about just these basic things of eating less to lose weight, walking to burn more calories. But again, there's things about losing belly fat and building muscle at the same time. This one thing is stalling your fat loss progress, how to lose more belly fat while eating out. It's things that adults would actually care about, right? Things adults haven't heard for the millionth time. So instead of just thinking from, I just need to give value, you guys need to shift your mindset into, I need to show that I understand the problem more than they do, right? Because again, everyone who is at least 25 years old has already heard of eat less to burn, or eat less to lose weight, eat more to gain weight, go on walks to burn more calories to actually lose weight, eat high protein meals. Everybody knows that. But again, if you can explain the problem better than someone else can, you win. Good information is good enough, but great information challenges assumptions and beliefs, right? If I could say something for you to completely, shift the way you think in terms of information, maybe tell you something about glycogen or growth hormones that you may have never heard before, and it kind of actually challenges your thought process, it makes you think, maybe I am doing something wrong. That's when you win in information. You have to realize people don't need more tips. They need a real diagnosis of what they're actually going through. Because anyone can tell you what's wrong. Anyone can tell you that you're fat. Anyone can tell you that you're too skinny. Everyone can tell you that you're not eating enough. But a doctor can give you a real diagnosis, right? They can tell you exactly what it is you need to do and tell you exactly what to do to fix it. Because again, having authority in the space or being seen as the expert isn't about just shouting loud. It's about showing that you see things that others don't. So again, if you were to look at your page, genuinely think to yourself, and with no bias, think, can I be seen as a doctor? Can someone look at my page and see me as the expert in the field and not some gym head that thinks he knows what he's talking about, but really is just yelling at the camera all the time? And I can't stress this enough. If nobody can trust you with $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to help them get in shape, it's probably because you don't seem like you're smart enough to be paid $5,000. Next is result. At the end of the day, nobody's going to buy from a fat coach. Nobody wants to buy from a anorexic skinny coach. So people are going to need proof, right? Proof that what you're at least teaching works on yourself and others, right? If you can't do it for yourself, what makes you think someone's gonna think that you can do it for them, right? They need to be thinking, damn, this guy's in really fucking good shape. So the 4 types of results that you could be posting is 1, your physique, 2, your client's physiques, 3, your lifestyle, and 4 is your overall vibe. Now, all of these correlate into these results corner of content. But now look at your page and ask, does your page give off a wow factor? Ask yourself without being biased, right? If you go to your page, genuinely, can someone get wowed in any sort of way? Whether it's your physique, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's your clients' transformations. Can they, again, just get wowed, or does it just look boring as hell? Because again, people will buy from you because they want to be you. They see a small piece of them in you, but they, again, want to get to a goal that looks something like your life, which is shown in your content. So I'm gonna show you exactly the 4 types of results content, and again, how to shift your prospects' minds. So a lot of people, just because you guys are usually younger, might just think, hey, this guy has a good body just because of his genetics. So you guys need to get that thought out of these prospects' heads, because again, if they just think you're good with genetics, they won't want to buy from your program. So you need to get them to think this isn't just genetics, but again, this is built up by consistency and actionable steps that you've built up. And you have to get them to believe, hey, it's not just a six-pack that you're seeing, but it's 6 months of hard work that I've put in, right? And a lot of people know the fact of, hey, your body isn't built in the gym, except it's built in the diet, right? 90% diet, 10% gym. So again, you need to show people that, you're not just in the gym every single day, but it's, again, the stuff outside the gym that really gets you that physique, right? Shift people's minds with these results, right? Show them getting in shape is a lifestyle. It's not something you just want to do because you want to pick up on a hobby, except if you want to get in the best shape and transform your life in the ways that you show, again, it's a lifestyle shift, right? You have to become a certain type of person to, again, become this six-pack version of themselves. Again, a lot of people will just naturally think, oh, he's young and he's naturally lean. Of course it's easy for him. In your content, you should be showing how you put in effort to show them it's not just genetics, except it's the fact that you are putting in work after work after work after work in your daily life. Next is your client's physique. See, because anyone can say it's easy to do it for yourself, right? You have all the time, you're young, you don't have that many responsibilities, you don't have family to take care of, you don't have friends, but it's not just you, is it, right? You have your clients as well. So you can share your clients' transformations and their stories, right? Maybe you have a client who's a busy dad, right? Working a 9 to 5. He also has a family to take care of. Obviously, he has friends outside of work as well, but he was still able to lose 30 pounds in 3 months and get abs. How was that? Because it's not just the systems that work for you, but it's the systems that work for your clients as well, giving people no excuse to, again, think you're not it. So again, if they see that it's not just you that you can do it for, but you've helped plenty of others get the same exact results, then it really isn't about you at the end of the day. Now it comes down to your frameworks and your systems to get them the same exact results. So it becomes a simple blueprint to get the body that they want. And if they're thinking maybe all of his clients are just naturally disciplined, show in your content how before you were not disciplined, and show how it transformed over time. Show how for your clients, they were all, fat or skinny before they came to your program, undisciplined, eating whatever they wanted, not going to the gym. But again, you had to transform their mind to, again, get them to that physique that they wanted, right? Again, not just being the physique that they got at the end goal, but again, being a life transformation at the end, showing how getting in shape and this entire lifestyle of taking care of yourself is not just about the body, but it's about more than that, right? It's a life-changing transformation. Next is your lifestyle. Nobody wants to be in shape if being in shape looks boring, right? Who wants six-pack abs if you're in your bed all day, not doing shit with your life, right? Who wants abs if you can't walk outside and show it? Who wants to be in shape? Who wants to be confident if you can't do it you can't use it anytime? So your lifestyle isn't just luck, right? You shaped your life to look the way it is because you've built it up yourself, right? You've been to the gym, you eat healthy, you have confidence to go do the things that you actually want to do in life. So show that in your content. Stop showing people that being in shape was lucky and getting this life that you want was also lucky. You shaped the way your life looks, so show them how you shaped it yourself, right? And a lot of people get lost in this feeling of feeling lost or unhappy, but you guys can use being in shape as a way to, again, give people a direction in life, right? Doing something for themselves. A lot of people just go to the gym because they want to work on themselves, right? It's the first thing in self-improvement, technically. But again, where has that led you up until this point? It all started as just wanting to get abs. But again, now, where has that led you? Now, you want to just take care of your overall health. Now you push your friends to start eating healthy and training. Now, your life is just overall better because you are in shape, right? Because again, now you're not just this lazy slob that's just sitting on a couch eating Doritos, except You're out here every day getting after it because going to the gym and the discipline that you've learned by going to the gym, again, improved your life and improved your clients' lives as well. Your prospects are probably thinking, oh, you're just lucky, you don't have any responsibilities to take care of. Show them. Show them how you work a job. Show them that you have a business. Show them that you have things to take care of out of your life, to show them, again, you're not just some young guy who just has it easy going to the gym, eating healthy, and doing whatever he wants, except you have things you actually have to do, like work just like them, except they're just not doing it because they're just lazy. And the last thing is just your overall vibe, right? Vibe honestly isn't just a way something looks, it's more of an energy. Now in content, it can be a little bit hard to explain, but I'm gonna explain it in the best way I can here, right? Think about how people actually feel by watching your videos, right? Music plays a huge factor. What types of music are you playing? Are you playing rap music? Are you playing country music? Are you playing slow jazz music? Are you playing EDM? What kind of music gives you a feeling, right? And whatever feeling that you get from, I guess, your life is the same feeling that you want to give to others, right? You can do it with the music again, but again, the messaging in your content as well, right? What is the vibe that people get from watching your content? Next, this one is super, super important, right? Perspective shifting content. Now we can throw this under the motivation content as well. It kind of is similar, but again, there is a slight difference between the two. Now with motivation, you see it all the time. People yelling at the camera, calling people fat, telling them to get up and go to the gym, but that doesn't work. If you really think about it, do you think a dad that hasn't worked out in 10 years is gonna start going to the gym just because you yelled at him and called him fat? You know how many times he's heard that before? You have to actually shift someone's mind or shift their perspective to get them to actually change their life. The whole goal is to get them to think just like you, right? In your content, obviously when they're going through your entire sales funnel and sales process, eventually you're gonna get to a call, right? And on that call, they're gonna have to make a decision. Now, if you can get someone to think the same way as you before hopping on that call, decision making is a lot easier. You don't have to force people to buy, you don't have to peer pressure them. But again, they are already going to be thinking the same way you do, so decision making is going to be super simple and they're going to want to make the change, right? The whole point of a sales call is to guide someone into making a decision, right? Helping someone become that version of themselves they need to become to have a six-pack. Because again, the current version of themselves doesn't deserve a six-pack. That's why they don't have one yet. But again, the version of them that has a six-pack acts, walks, talks, thinks in certain ways. So again, your content is to shift their perspectives to get them to start acting that way before they hop on a call with you. So again, you want them to think just like us. And if you think about why leaders are leaders in the world, think about it, right? David Goggins, why is he a leader in this space? His main message to the world is stay hard. But again, his accomplishments and all of his content revolves around that singularity of a message, right? Everything he does revolves around the fact that it's super, super hard, but he gets it done anyways, and he doesn't complain about it. Think about other people as well, like Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Everybody knows that all the shit that he went through it because he had a dream. And all of his accomplishments line up with that message. So in your content, what is the message that you want to give? And do your accomplishments or content align with that message? And then the confusion between motivational and perspective shifting content is these, right? Motivation is nice, but usually doesn't last too long. But if you can shift someone's beliefs, that can last forever, right? You wake up or you're scrolling late at night, you guys get motivated, and the next day it wears off. But again, if someone says something the night before and it really hits deep with you, or it really, changes the way you think, that thought or that thought process will last longer than, again, 5 minutes of motivation. But you still want to do both because, again, you want to give people that giddy up feeling of, hey, I want to take some sort of action now. So again, with your information, they can use that quick information with that quick motivation and get instant results of some kind. And then with the perspective shifting, they'll think differently and come back for more because you are someone who was able to, again, shift their perspectives, which is not usually easy to do. Now, last thing is personal brand. Now, a lot of people get very confused or don't really have a direction with what personal brand really is. But if you think about having a personal brand as just making a best friend on social media, it'll become a lot easier, right? Think about what makes someone a friend. If you and I were both strangers, what would make us become just friends? Probably something that we just have in common, right? Maybe we both like going to the gym. Now, in order to gain a strong following, a personal brand, right? A best friend, what bridges the gap between a friend and a best friend? Sharing very deep moments, right? So and that's how you gain a strong personal brand. Because again, if you want to connect with someone on a deeper level, they have to know deep things about you, right? You and your best friend have probably shared traumatic experiences, been through life or death situations together, been through just overall a lot of experiences together and have a lot more things in common than just one thing. That's what makes you best friends. So again, in content, you're not just trying to make a friend, but if you're aiming to make a best friend, you'll make a lot more money. So again, think about what things have happened in your life, your turning points, your traumatic experiences, good experiences, anything that you are willing to say on social media to, again, click with someone else on the other side of the screen. So the belief that you want to actually install in yourself is your personal brand is your digital reputation. It either makes you really, really big and really, magnetizing everyone towards you, or it will literally just make you invisible, right? By being everybody else. If you don't have a strong personal brand, at the end of the day, you are just like every other coach in the space. In the age of, content overload where everybody is posting on social media now, they follow an actual identity. People want to be you, like I mentioned before they buy from you. So they have to see a part of themselves in you to, again, believe that this is possible for them, right? Making those small changes into themselves to become the person that deserves, right, this six-pack ab version of themselves. So having a strong personal brand, there's really 4 things that we'll cover here. 1 being your image, your beliefs, your lifestyle, and your energy. So the first belief shift, again, that you want to make is people don't just hear your words, they feel your frequency, right? How do you talk to a camera? Do you talk as if you have no life, right? Do you talk as if you're full of life? Do you talk as if you're angry all the time? Do you talk as if you're sad all the time? How do you actually talk to the camera? If your audience, the best way to tell if a video is actually good is if you ask yourself, if someone muted my video, would they actually feel anything from listening to it on silent, right? If the answer is no, there's something missing, right? Your posture, your eye contact, the way you talk, the stuff you wear, your hair, the way your hair is, everything matters to a certain extent. But again, these little things can make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. And if you think, I can't have a cool personal brand, I don't have a cool life, your personal brand doesn't have to be cool. Your life doesn't have to be cool to make sales. Because again, if you work a 9-to-5 job and you're in shape, and a lot of people want to also get in shape that work 9-to-5 jobs, that's your ICP, they would most likely trust you more because you're actually living, right, and building the solutions to whatever problem that they're having, which is, again, getting in shape while being overworked with a 9-to-5 job, having a family, having kids, and just being busy overall in life. You can show the day-to-day life of being a 9-to-5, entrepreneur, right? Still getting in shape. That will build so much more trust than just some random 18-year-old who has no responsibilities, going to the gym every day, eating whatever he wants to, again, see results that every 18-year-old gets. Next is your actual beliefs. Your opinions are how you position yourself in the space, right? Your beliefs separate you from everyone else, right? If you have a really strong standpoint on something, say it. Nobody follows people that everyone else is saying. If you think about it, in high school, there was always that, group of popular kids, and there's always the group of, we'll say weirdos, right? And everybody always talks about the popular kids, and everybody always talks about the weirdos, but nobody talks about that group of kids in the middle, right? The kids that aren't popular, but aren't weird, but they're just the quiet ones that in the middle that no one ever really talks about, right? So in your content, you should be very polarizing, right? Have strong beliefs, whatever it may be, as silly as it sounds, there's always going to be someone believing you and someone believing the other side of the story as well. So again, post content that is polarizing, have strong opinions. Because again, if you stay in this middle where you never have opinions, you will never be talked about and no one will ever talk about you. And if you're thinking, I don't want to say anything that will get people, turning people off. I don't want to post any content that might run a sale away. If you think about it, if you have a strong opinion and someone else agrees with your opinion, you just move them closer to a sale. But again, if someone thinks the opposite way of you, the whole point of perspective shifting, the slide before, was again to get people to think the same way as you, again moving them closer to a sale. So you're technically never losing out on a sale. Your lifestyle, how you live, your lifestyle is genuinely the proof of your concept, right? Does doing the thing that you do get you the lifestyle that you have? If the answer is yes, that's correct. When people see your day-to-day life, that's when they want to buy into your programs. Because again, no one wants to buy your program if your life sucks. No one wants to, have their life go from suck to suck. They want their life to go from suck to really, really great, if not just a little better. So people don't want to just see, what this end goal is, but they want to know how to actually get there, right? Behind the scenes, how does someone who is successful in whether their physique, their mindset, or financially, how do they think? How do they walk? How do they talk, right? What do they do on their day-to-day basis? That's what people want to see. And the last thing, again, is your genuine vibe, right? Again, how do you make people feel when they watch your content? Do they feel sad all the time watching your content? Do they feel motivated? Do they feel like they can conquer the world? Do they feel very strong as a person? Do they get 1% better every day just from watching your content, right? What is the vibe that your content gives off? Because again, if your content doesn't improve anyone's life in any sort of way, at the end of the day, why would they want to keep watching it? You have to realize people scroll over 1,000 times a day going through reel after TikTok after YouTube video. But is your content the one thing that's going to stand out when it comes across their feed? You'll know you have a strong brand if people actually talk about you when you're not even posting content, right? People talk about your opinions, your life, your results when you're not even posting about it. That's how you know you have a good brand. That was the 4 corners of content. Now, again, if your content isn't actually converting any leads, you're just posting mindlessly, just posting on repeat, and getting burned out, and you don't know what to post. Post those 4 types of videos and you will drastically see a big difference in your content, a drastic, lead flow in your DMs. And again, a lot more people coming into your DMs and sales calls with a lot more trust than before. And if you guys like this video, obviously feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, and let me know what you guys are struggling with in the comments below, and I will make another YouTube video covering that. And if you want to work one-on-one with me and my team to scale you to your first 10K plus months, feel free to book in a call with me below, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together.